The treasure system has been out for already a little bit, and I want to talk about the things that I like about the system and the things that I do dislike about the whole treasure, favorite items, whatever you want to call them, right? I wanted to wait until I could at least test 3 or 4 of them and see what the plans were from Shift Up Ends. So, hello the internets, welcome back to the Waifus. I am Sefhi. Today's topic, favorite items, and if they're good, they're bad, what I dislike about the system specifically, how I hope they improve it, and comparison with other games that are doing similar things and how they're doing it, right? So before we start, as usual, leave a like, subscribe, comment to the channel, and let's get started with the video directly. So let's talk about first treasures in Nika, and then we'll switch to the other game. You might recognize the music already, you might not, but let's talk about treasures in Nika first. What are the treasures, these favorite items? They change how characters work. They will give you different skills for example, Laplace. Laplace now deals 2 damage and her burst, it's literally 10 seconds instead of only 5. And also, she can keep her stacks a lot easier, right? 15 seconds or 10 seconds, whatever it is. So she is becoming from, as kind of not really good DPS character into a, if you can get her treasure, a really, really good DPS unit, actually rivaling the other meta girls out there, right? But there is a couple issues with this system. So to start with, Nika has released only 5, right? If you go to Wikipedia, favorite items, there is only 5 characters that can have this, right? It is Exia, Prima, Diesel, Viper now with this latest update, and Laplace. They also include dolls for every single character, and as you can see, the RNG in the dolls is trash. And one of the first things that I want to talk about, how hard it is to get these dolls. Because the only way you are getting these dolls is if you get lucky on your daily missions, on your outpost, right? And you open these boxes and you get an SR. You can get lucky. Yeah, of course, you can. But that's a lot of RNG already. The only other way is every time there is a solo raid, we're actually getting a lot of dolls and a selector on the last day. On day 7, when you are clearing the last solo raid before challenge, you get a selector. And the selector is actually goated because you can get the purple doll, which you need to evolve into the treasure itself. So the first problem that the system has is doll acquisition and materials to level up. It is a lot of RNG. You cannot buy this, but just because something is not paid to win doesn't mean it's a good system. And in fact, right now, it is just literally 2 months, at least if you want to get a treasure from like a blue doll into a purple doll into the treasure itself, max level phase 3. Because we only get 3 materials per day and you need 160 in total. If we consider that there's gonna be a solo raid in between, giving you random ones, then you can get lucky, right? It is 1.5 months, 2 months to max out a treasure. That is a lot. And that's not including the RNG of actually getting the doll for your weapon type. I haven't gotten a single one for shotguns, SMGs, snipers, or assault rifles. A single one. I opened more than 20, close to 30 boxes already because I'm resetting every day my daily missions to get more boxes. And even then, I've gotten no purple ones. You can use the combined system, but that's a waste of dolls. It is a waste of dolls right now, at least. So, first problem is this acquisition, these materials. It is too slow. The system feels like it's gonna take years. Now, the second problem is the dolls themselves, because they are releasing right now 1 every 2 months. Looks like it's going to be the plan, 1 every 2 months, but they are releasing 3 characters per month, 2 characters, 3 depending on the event. So how are we gonna ever catch up? Now, some people might say like, oh, Sefhi, this is not to catch up. It's just, so we can get characters that are bad into a better spot. Not really, not really. Let's be real here. What you are getting with the treasure is, yes, a character that can become better in terms of meta and usage, but what most people are interested is the background you're getting, the new bond stories that you are getting, thanks to unlocking this as well, the new voice lines, and all of the extra stuff, not the treasure itself, right? So for how many characters there are in the game, it's just too slow. Now, when I say it's too slow, I need to provide some context as to what other games are doing. So let's switch here for a second into Brown Dash 2, the Gyat game. So Brown Dash 2 has the same system as Nika. Instead of being called Treasure, however, it's called Potential. Now, what's the Potential system? If I go into my Gyaru girl, for example, right? She has only 1 costume. I'm actually gonna put a character with 2 costumes from the collab, so we can see how this works. Every character in Brown Dash 2 has different costumes. Every costume can count as a skill. So she has 2 costumes, 2 skills, base and a different one. Now, these skills, as you can see, have different things, right? They have a range, a target, the knockback, what they do, etc. But they change this because you also have the upgrade system. And this will give you reduced cooldown, it will change how the skills work, it will give you a lot of passive stats, and sometimes, in a lot of cases, it will also change these skills, like the range. The skill itself completely will change. So this is the same as a treasure system. Now, what is the difference is that every single character in game, with all of the costumes, which is a lot, and I don't have all of them, by the way. There is characters with 5-6 costumes. Every costume has a potential system. It took them less than 2 months, I believe, please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, to release a potential for every costume in the game. Once again, compare that to Nikke, where we're getting one every 2 months, and it takes you 2 months to max out a single treasure. Now, some people will be, Sefhi, just asking for things to be free. No, I want proper progression. I want my account to feel like I'm getting progress every day. And you don't feel like that in Nikke most days. Because you go to special interception and you get shafted. You go then to your daily missions, you open a box, you get a doll, a blue doll that's useless SMG. Or you get even maintenance kit, which is worse, right? So a lot of times for Nikke, the progression doesn't feel rewarding, doesn't feel like you are actually making progress. It feels backwards in comparison to other gachas. I'm not gonna get into the fan service debate today. It's not worth it, even though, right? Even though clearly there is games out there giving us a lot more, but again, I'm not gonna get into that today, right? Today is treasure system. So it is too slow, the RNG is awful, and at the pace that they are releasing treasures, one every 2 months, we will never catch up. This also gives them excuses to be releasing bad characters in hopes that in the future they will be buffed with the treasure and also release gacha skins to sell for $60 a skin. That's not worth it. For me, let's start saying that for me it's not worth it. Because they are attaching them as well to the characters. So not only they are selling skins, gacha skins based on a story for Modernia, but now they're also selling the skins based on who is getting a treasure. And I don't like that. I just don't like that. I feel it's a shit system. I really like the idea of the characters getting changed on skills completely, how they work, Laplace becoming useful, Exia becoming actually meta for co-op and electric content, like what the fuck, right? That's good. But it's just, the concept is good, the execution, like most stuff in Nikke, is really, really bad. But this is like how I feel about the system personally. Do let me know if I'm maybe reaching out too far, right, and I'm stripping on this one, and how you feel about the system itself. It's gonna be it for this one. Just a small rant on the treasure system and how I feel about it in general in comparison to other games, like for example BD2. But that's gonna be it for this one. Okay, monsters, I love you all as usual. Thank you to my patrons for making this content possible. Good luck with your pool degenerates, and see you in the next one.
役立たずは楽園から追放するのみ。ブランとノワールのショータイムです。天地万物を切るとはこういうことだ。